What's going on? So, I've been wanting to do this review for quite some time. I just cannot find the time to do it. So, here we are. Finally found the night for me to just record this video and just break down, my thoughts on the movie. But with that all being said, there's gonna be some spoilers in this review. So, if you have not seen the movie, that is your warning, so you may not want to see this if you have not watched the movie. So, there you go. So, I liked how this movie takes it back to back to the very beginning, to how the Power Rangers started out. Like when it was brought here in the U.S., because it was first a Japanese show, and then now it's, like the our version, the U.S. version, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where they have Jason, Billy, Kimberly, Trini, and Zach. That's all awesome, and the cast, in this movie actually made it work in their own way, and I like the dynamic that they share with each other, especially with Jason and Billy. Like, they definitely have a little bromance there, and Billy, he's like the most likable character. I mean, like when I saw reviews on the movie and it said how Billy is their favorite, I can understand why, because Billy is awesome, and Billy is the type of friend that I would want to have in school at that time. And I feel a little bit like there's a little bit of me in Billy. I mean, like with his, like with his awkwardness and his nerdiness, and I can just, that's how I can connect with Billy. I mean, like, so, yeah. And also, Jason is also awesome, too. I mean, and he has leadership qualities to him. And I liked how I liked how him and Billy developed a really good, bond. And, yeah. And I liked how Zach was rebellious and sort of like the I guess the daredevil of the of the five. And also another thing that they did different, like with Rita Repulsa, is that she was once a Power Ranger. Now, I didn't expect them to do that. I mean, like, some fans may have a problem with that, but I'm just like, okay, that's different. Okay. I mean, I don't love it. I don't love the idea, and I don't hate it. I'm just like right in the middle, like, oh, okay. I guess that's just the way it is in this movie. Okay. And you do see a little bit of backstory between her and Zordon, and where Zordon was the original Red Ranger, and Rita was a Green Ranger, and she just basically betrayed him. And and also, like, when she is on the quest to to bring Goldar to life, she's getting gold everywhere she can grab it. I had to say, as looking back on that, I like the Jamie Foxx song kept playing in my head, Gold Digger with Kanye West, or the Kanye West song with Jamie Foxx. Like I ain't saying she ain't no gold digger. As she's going around looking for gold. But I have to say, though, the one thing I did not like about Rita is when, at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, in the third act, you see that she has a gold tooth in one of her back teeth, like somewhere like back here. I'm like, that is a little much. I wouldn't mind if she tried it on like once, like just for for humor's sake, but afterwards, just have that out. Just have her take that shit out. Don't have her wear it through the rest of the movie. But I gotta say, another nitpick is when they all morphed into the Power Rangers. That was like in like the last 20 or 25 minutes in the movie, or maybe 20 minutes of the movie. Like, really? Ugh. Thank God for the good character development that these five kids had. That was good. That carried the movie really well, but you have to mix in some Power Ranger action in there too. I would have had them morph like twice in the movie, if not three. You know, in a 2 hour movie, you're gonna make us wait for almost nearly an hour and a half for them to become the Power Rangers all together. I mean, I get it. This is an origin story, and you're training them how to fight. I like all that, but it still would have been cool to see them as the Power Rangers for like one extra scene. You know, that's it. I mean, I liked how like in the original show, they're more experienced when they become the Rangers and stuff. And I like how here they're learning to get to that. They're being trained to get to that point. But still, it kind of dragged. But you know what? But the character development between those five kids did help carry the movie. But still, could have had at least one more scene with them as the Power Rangers. That's all I'm saying. Imagine if it took that long to see the Ninja Turtles, like in the Ninja Turtles movie. That would be a pretty big letdown, don't you think? Where they stand together and we see them fighting in all their glory in the last 20 minutes of the movie, and we had to wait like almost through Act 1 and 2 to get to that point. I mean, it didn't take that long for us to see Godzilla like in the Godzilla movie. I mean, even though it did take us quite a bit, time to see him, but still, this was not as long. And like with Batman Begins, for instance, where that was an origin story, but it was also a legit Batman movie. It didn't make us wait that long to see him as Batman. But anyway, I mean, I know I'm really nitpicking hard on that, but when they finally do become the Rangers, it's rewarding, it's fun to watch, it's entertaining, it's butter on the popcorn. But another thing that's pretty funny is how they're fighting, they're fighting Goldar and they're trying to stop Rita in the middle of civilians trying to get out of harm's way. I get it. This is their first time as working together as the Power Rangers, but you should be trying to get the innocent civilians to safety before you decide to go all use your weapons and use your Zords to really tear shit up and potentially tear up buildings around you. I mean, get the people to safety first. And another thing is they left a hint that Tommy will be in the next movie. Like they left an opening for him. That was kind of spoiled for me before I saw this movie, because I didn't hear that in that review that there was a spoiler warning. But it wasn't a huge spoiler, so it wasn't a huge letdown for me, because I kind of predicted that they were gonna do that, like they're gonna have an end credit scene involving Tommy's opening into this franchise, into this reboot. But so I mean, this was just still a pretty good movie. It wasn't. I mean, it had dark moments, where as far as what each character was going through outside of being together. But I mean, it had just enough cheesy humor, to basically stay true to the elements of the Power Rangers. And so it wasn't full dark and gritty, you know what I mean? It had, it was dark when it needed to be dark, and it was humorous when it needed to be humorous. So, with that all being said, I guess this deserves, this deserves, hey, what the hell? It deserves four fair cheerspins out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fair cheerspins. I would say solid, but fair, because it had some nitpicks, with them not really becoming the Power Rangers until near the end of the movie. But it gets fair 4 cheerspins because of the character development, Like, if you're not a fan of character development, then you probably would hate this movie. But I mean, if I saw this as a child, like where I was all about action, I didn't really care about the origin stories so much as I do now, then I would probably say this movie sucks and it gets 2 chair spins. And I like to point out that that this, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is my favorite of the many, 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 many incarnations of the Power Rangers. I mean, a few incarnations that like the first few after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were pretty good, like Power Ranger Zeo, and I believe I said that right, and I think that's my favorite one out of all of them. Everything else was okay. Some were like not so great, and others were like, "What the hell are they doing?" I'm like, But this one, the very first one to the beginning, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is my favorite one, and I hope that with this movie, with the potential franchise that it could become, I hope that it stays with these characters. Like when it's time for them to pass on the mantle, just have it end from there, and then I guess you can reboot it again with new characters, or you can just leave it with them, like for as many movies as they want to make. So yeah, I was never a fan of them, hopping from different characters, taking on the mantle, honestly, I wish it would have just stayed with the original cast until it changed over to a totally different Power Rangers show. You know what I mean? Have them be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all the way through the run of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then when it's time for new Rangers to step in and make like Power Ranger Zero, then you can have new people play them. But I mean, that's just me. That's just my little preference or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like back to what I was saying. The very first Power Rangers is my favorite. The very original Power Rangers, and I hope that they keep it this way with these movies. And I heard that I read an article that the cast, or the Power Rangers cast, I don't know if it's the original cast or this cast here, wants the Green Ranger to be they want to gender swap the Green Ranger. Okay, but you sort of left an opening to Tommy coming into a sequel, so that would be basically a cop out for some people who are getting ready, and they're getting ready for Tommy to make his appearance into a sequel, only for him to be swapped aside and then have that Green Ranger mantle taken or being given to somebody else in general. Like I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. Like if it was just given to another guy or whatever, I mean, it still like you're getting fans ready to see Tommy, and then take that away. Like nope, it's not gonna be him. But I don't know. I mean, if you didn't have that end credit scene with them like saying his name and stuff, then okay, go for it, and then just see what comes out of that. But you're sort of in a slippery. You're heading towards a slippery slope, like if that were to happen. But I don't know. That may not happen. It may just stick with just being Tommy because they left an opening for him to step in for a sequel. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my review on this movie, make sure you thumb up the video and click subscribe if you're a newbie to the channel. And thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.